And now the Saturday singer Vanessa White and the entrepreneur Jamel Edwards are among the stars involved in a new music event in North London this evening. It's called Rise and is aid of the Teenage Cancer Trust. Luke Blackwell is there for us and can tell us more now. Luke.
That's right, Anthony. You mentioned just some of the performers playing here tonight. It's a fantastic lineup. The fans are just starting to arrive behind me here at the O2 Academy in Islington. Obviously a fantastic lineup here to see some of their favourites, up-and-coming stars as well as established performers. But they also will learn something here this evening, hopefully, about the work that the charity that we'll be raising money for this evening does, the Teenage Cancer Trust. And one of those who can tell us more is Josh Lerner, who received the benefit, a former cancer patient himself. Josh, tell us your experience and how you came into contact with the Teenage Cancer Trust.
So I was 22 and I was at that point in my life where I was just wrapping up university. I just graduated and things were just a bit off. You know, deep down you can tell if something isn't going right. I was having difficulties concentrating. I felt tired all the time. I was having these weird aches, pains, and I was losing lots of weight and I just couldn't put my finger on it. So eventually I did go and see my GP. I'd say, if you ever have these symptoms, if you're ever confused about something, do. And I did. And I was referred to my local hospital, which is Whipps Cross in Leytonstone. And while I was there, I had loads of tests done, and they told me it was cancer. I had been diagnosed with stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is a kind of blood cancer, and it had got to a stage where it had also formed tumours inside my lungs, inside my bones, and I was in a pretty bad state. Like, you wouldn't know really just looking at me, and I wouldn't have known it was really that bad. But, you know, there's only so much a local hospital can do. Luckily for me, that my consultant had these links with bigger hospitals within London, like UCLH. And I was then referred, at my request, onto a teenage and young adult unit, which is run by the Teenage Cancer Trust. And, you know, it changed everything. I went from this place of just being gloomy, bleak, thinking the outcome would be awful, to just feeling great. I was surrounded by other young people who really was walking exactly in my shoes. We had things to talk about that weren't cancer. That was something that I hadn't done for a while. And it was just incredible. There were amazing staff members who really understood the problems of young people. There were just certain things that other consultants don't want to touch on, because 95% of their patients are 70-year-old grandmas, grandpas, and they just don't really understand. And it just turned my life around. So I made so many new friends. There were loads of opportunities for me to go on trips with other young people with cancer. I got to go to something called Find Your Sense of Tumour. It is the most cringy name, but, you know, it's a conference for young people who have or have been through cancer, and you just get a chance to meet people from all over the country. And for a lot of people, this is the first time that they've had any contact with another young person with cancer, because the problem with Teenage Cancer Trust at the moment, they just don't have enough money. For every young person that can be reached, there's another one who can't. And it's not right, you know, it's just not fair. So it's great that we're having these kind of fundraisers like tonight, like Rise. And music is such a therapeutic thing. You get to touch young people's souls. You get to be cool. It's just something that you don't get to do often.
But also, you mentioned something earlier, your sort of lack of awareness about it early on. There's also increased awareness among the young in the audience tonight.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if there's anything that other people can take away from this, it's that cancer isn't just for old people. You know, I was 22. I've met people who are 13, 16. I've met people who are 70. It doesn't discriminate, you know. If you have that awareness of cancer, you can get it treated earlier if you are one of the unfortunate ones. And yeah, it's so important that people know about it.
And I described you as a former patient. You're on the road to recovery now, is that right?
So it's my 1-year anniversary of being in remission. So this time last year I was in hospital for 5 weeks having something called a stem cell transplant. It's a complicated procedure, lots of chemo, and they kind of reboot your immune system. And since then it's been great. I'm feeling good.
I'm very pleased to hear it, and thank you so much for sharing your story, Josh Lerner there. An extraordinary story, and reminding the importance of this Charity Rise event here at the O2 Academy, raising money, as I said, for the Teenage Cancer Trust. Do stick with us. We'll be speaking more about this event and some more people involved a little later on in the programme.
Okay, Luke Blackall there for us over at that event taking place called Rise this evening.